Hello people, it's your worst man back again with another video. Today I will be talking about transfers and potential transfers, players that have come to Man United. I know you're flipping thinking I've not done an end of season review. Obviously at the start of the season I talked about who I thought would win the league. Obviously I'm not going to go into too much detail on that video because obviously most of the things I said didn't come true. But yeah, just to quickly summarise our end of season, how our season's gone. I wrote a couple of things down, so just want to go through that before I go into the transfers. Yeah, so let's have a quick look what we wrote. Absolute shite. So, that's enough for the season review. Let's get into the flipping news. Anyways, Man United, like always, have been dripping linked with every single player on the market. Thankfully, we're not Arsenal. We're not going for players like Liechtenstein, who's 34 years old, or Socrates is an absolute fucking B-Tech Smalling, So I'm happy we're not going for players like that because obviously they're absolutely shy. We are linked with some players that, are higher end marquee signings and some players that I feel will just be suitable to fill the the void or the gaps that we need filling, so to speak, such as the fullback positions, the centre mid position, which is obviously being filled currently by Fred, and potentially centre back position. And some people say we need a right winger. I'm not too sure myself. We need a right winger given how much sort of wingers and attacking players we have. I just feel like they need to be utilised correctly, but could talk about that in a different video. Just regarding Dalla and Fred, of course, they have already signed for Man United, which is obviously great news, just to have a couple of fresh names in there. I will talk about them a bit later on, how they fit into the system, where I feel that, they're going to be utilised throughout the season, Jose Mourinho's sort of potential ideas for them. But for now, I'm just going to talk about people that we're potentially going to sign. And I might talk about, people that I feel like we should go for that are currently available. So, firstly, just want to talk about Talisca. I think that's how you pronounce it. The Brazilian forward slash cam. We have been linked with him throughout most of the opening of the window. However, he did actually just sign for one of the Chinese teams. I can't pronounce it. It starts with a G. You've probably already heard of them. I don't really know why. He's gone on loan from Benfica. He was currently on loan at Besiktas for 2 years. Who actually, to be fair to him, looked like a decent player. He reminded me very much of Mahrez. It's not really the end of the world. Like I said, I don't think we need a right winger necessarily. However, it would have been a decent player because he's got a bit of pace about him. He's 191 centimeters, which is about 6'2" maybe, or something along those lines. It's quite tall, so you can see where Jose was interested in. But in general, just to quickly get that one out of the way, we were linked with him. It was a potential signing. However, I think it was in the last 24 hours he signed for some Chinese club on loan. So just to get that one out of the way, like I said, there are a couple of marquee signings in this video that we'll talk about, but we already know about them. So I'm just going to start with some of the other ones that I personally think are more for necessity. Like I said, we've already signed Dalla, who is a fullback. For me personally, the fullback positions are of the utmost importance for us this season. Not to compare itself with Man City, but you saw what they did last season. They replaced the two older guards, fullbacks, with, I know Mendy didn't play too much, but Kyle Walker in particular was fantastic from last season. I think we're in a very similar situation now, that we need to get two new fullbacks. Although Valencia has been a very good servant for the club at the right back position, for me personally, this season that's just gone, I just think he hasn't been as good as he has in the previous years, mainly in the final third. To be fair, defensively you can't knock him, he has been fantastic, but for me personally, in the final third, oh my god, I don't even want to go into it. It's just been poor to watch, honestly guys. Some of the things that he does, it just slows down the play, just indecisiveness, inability to cross the ball at decent level. I can go on. Ashley Young, on the other hand, can actually cross the ball, but he's not a fullback and he's not a natural left footer, so again that's caused his own problems. So for me personally, it's a necessity that we replace both the fullbacks. We've already got Dalla. I don't know if he's actually going to play week in, week out. He's only a 19-year-old lad from the Portuguese league. Of course, Jose will know more about him being Portuguese himself. However, is he going to be an understudy? Is he going to be playing week in, week out? I don't really know what Joe's going to do. I'm hearing that he's going to be an understudy for Valencia, which isn't what I really want to hear. But that all aside, we need at least a left back which is going to be playing week in, week out. And for me personally, Alexandro, the links to Alexandro are the ones that I'm personally be keeping a track of. For me personally, I just think Sandro's a necessity. Yeah, you can get the marquee players, you can get the Bales, the Griezmann. Of course, it would be ideal or unbelievable if we were to sign either there. But for me personally, we've signed the marquee players. Yes, Sanchez hasn't had the season that we want him to have. However, if you were to look at it before we signed Sanchez, we all thought that is going to be the marquee signing to take us forward. Unfortunately, it hasn't happened so far. Not to say it can't happen in the next season, but what I'm saying is, let's not just buy players for the sake of it. Let's buy players that we actually need. And we need a left back. Alexandro is potentially available. Juventus are playing hardball, like you would imagine. Obviously, that our sort of relationship with Juventus isn't fantastic after sort of Pogba scenario, obviously taking their main player off them, you know, not in the fashion that they wanted him to leave, of course. So yeah, the relationship between the two clubs is fantastic. You know, I was led to believe that we were close to negotiating a fee for Sandro, you know, following all these sort of media outlets, sort of individuals on media, saying that we're close to agreeing the fee. You know, we in personal terms, they're talking about personal terms with Sandro, etc. And then I think his name is Fabrizio Romano, I might have got that wrong. Anyway, he's a very known journalist, obviously came out recently in the last couple of days or so, saying that we haven't even made a flipping bid, let alone being close to agreeing terms. So it just goes to show, you know, obviously we already know this, what you read on media isn't true, but it just goes to show that it's so far from the truth. Most of the cases, I was led to believe that we're putting a bid of 45 million to 50 million as well for Alexandra. I was, you know, pretty much gutted, I'm not gonna lie, to find out we've not even bidded for the guy. So for me personally, I think Alexandra is a necessity for us. I think we need to go out and just put the money down, a bit like Man City did. Yes, paying over the odds isn't what we should be doing all the time, but in this case it's someone we need. He's not going to play Luke Shaw. I don't want to see Ashley Young playing week in, week out, because we're not going to win the league, unfortunately, with Ashley Young at left back week in, week out. And clearly Luke Shaw isn't someone that Jose trusts, as well as many United fans don't, you know, seem to have the belief in Luke Shaw. Like I still do, probably more delusion than belief. But yeah, Sandro for me is an absolute necessity. Like I've already said, he's a potential signing. The likelihood of that happening, I'm not 100% sure that is going to go ahead, because like I said, we haven't even put a bid in, but I'm going to go 70%, because like I said, the links have been quite heavy. You know, Romano coming out and saying that we haven't put in a bid is a bit of a kick in the teeth, but it just so that, you know, at least there is some sort of legs to the rumours, because obviously why would he come out and even say that if all the rumours were false. But anyways, moving on. Pardon me. Moving on from Sandro, another person, again, I honestly think this is a no-brainer. I don't understand why we're not just paying the money. But then again, a report's coming out today that Daniel Levy wanted 70 million for a flipping 29-year-old Alderweireld. What can I say? Trying to do a deal with Levy is trying to do a flipping deal with the devil. The guy is the most greediest person on the planet. He's never been worth 70 million. I know Liverpool paid 75 for Van Dijk. Van Dijk's not worth 75 million, and he's considerably younger than Alderweireld. I'm hearing Man United wanting to pay 50 million for Alderweireld, which to be fair is probably overpriced anyways given his age. But for me personally, if someone was to say you can have Alderweireld for 50 million, I would snap their hand off, because this guy is world class, make no mistake about it. He is, for me personally, one of the best centre backs in the league, if not the best centre back on his day. His ability to distribute the ball as well is something that we definitely need. I know we have got Lindelof, who's also renowned for his ability to distribute the ball. Unfortunately, we haven't seen enough of that just yet. Hopefully, Alderweireld can come in and not only just help the other two centre backs. I'm completely disregarding Smalling and Jones, by the way. I'm talking about Bale and Lindelof here. Hopefully he can help them too, potentially Rojo, so I don't mind Rojo, but yeah, hopefully he can help them a lot, because obviously they're considerably younger than Alderweireld, and just nurture them a bit and obviously teach them, because they're not going to learn anything about Smalling and Jones. So for me, again, like I said, it's not just about the marquee signings. We need to get players that are fit for purpose, and for me personally, Alderweireld and Sandro, them two, if someone was to say to me we're only going to make 2 more signings, I would say Alderweireld and Sandro. For me personally, would be the most important. Just moving on from obviously the defensive line, so to speak. The midfield, again, everyone's probably heard of this. I'm not really going to go on in too much detail. Savic being linked with Man United time and time again. My only concern with Savic, obviously I'm happy for the link, of course, but the only concern is he's very similar to Pogba. Of course, we've just signed Fred, but we do need more strength in depth with Fred, because I am hearing rumours that potentially Herrera might be going back to Bilbao. Thankfully, Fellaini's getting sold, and of course, Carrick has been released or retired, however you want to class it as. I'm going to class it as retired, of course. So yeah, we are missing quite a bit of strength and depth in the middle of the park, but you're really going to pay like 100 million for a midfielder that's not going to play week in, week out. We've just paid 50 million for Fred as well, so it is a tricky one, because obviously at the end of the day you do want to get as much quality as you possibly can in the middle of the park, but do you really want to pay 100 million for Savic when you've got Pogba, Matic, who for me personally have to play, because Savic is a very similar player to Pogba, so he won't be able to sit in the deep role. People are saying Fred can play the holding role, which again, I could be open you know, to seeing that happen. But again, it's just something that I don't think is realistic. We need to focus on balance in the team. And for me personally, although Savic would be fantastic, I don't know how he would fit in with the current sort of situation. Potentially, if we were to sign another player, it would have to be competing with Fred. And like I said, do you really want to buy another player that's competing with Fred after we just spent 50 million on him? For me personally, I'd rather get someone that replaces Matic. Although Matic is fantastic at breaking up the play, for me personally, he's too slow on the ball. So I would be more looking at someone in a CDM. Without saying it, I was saying, obviously I wanted Fabinho, but he's gone to Liverpool. I don't really know what the crux of that deal was. Obviously we didn't want him. But yeah, just regarding Savic, of course, I wouldn't be against us signing him. Of course, he's a fantastic player, but I just don't know how he's going to fit in, given that we've just found Fred. One will have to be on the bench, because you're not going to bench Pogba. For me personally, Pogba is probably going to be captain next season, if not De Gea. It's going to be between Pogba and De Gea for captaincy, so he's going to be playing week in, week out. Anyways, moving on to the marquee players. Again, these aren't a necessity. These would be a massive bonus. I said the same thing last year, that Griezmann would be a bonus. And again, Griezmann's been linked with Man United. No flipping surprise there. You know, some people thought he's a done deal to Barcelona. For some reason, that hasn't materialised. I'm not really sure what the situation with that is. But I don't know how I feel about Griezmann. Of course, everyone who knows me knows how much I love Griezmann, and I would love him at Man United. But again, are we buying a player that we need, or are we buying a player like we did with Sanchez, that is somebody that is a name that we know is has got quality there? For me personally, if we were to buy Griezmann, there's only two places he can play. He's either right wing or up front. Ideally, I know this is probably not a popular opinion, I would rather Griezmann played up front with Sanchez and Martial playing alongside him. For me personally, that's what I would do. Again, can't really put Lukaku on the bench after we just paid 75 million for him. But again, we need to build a squad that's going to compete on all four fronts. So again, that's up to you guys. But regarding the Griezmann transfer, I don't think there's much truth into this. I just think it's a publicity stunt to try to get a better deal after Atletico Madrid, because from what I'm aware of, they don't pay their players that much, and he has been carrying them for the last couple of years, so he probably is entitled to a raise. But supposedly Cavani, I'm not sure if this is a done deal or not, but Cavani is going to Atletico Madrid, so I suppose that might pave the way for Griezmann to move out. But I wouldn't see why he would move past Barcelona to come to Man United. We're not really playing flourishing football. But a counter argument to that is he obviously plays under Simeone, and they don't really play fantastic football, and his stats have still been fantastic. You could easily play Lukaku and Griezmann together, and obviously Griezmann starting on the right wing, but we'll see what Jose Mourinho does about that one. And the other two players, Gareth Bale, of course. To be honest with you, it's between Gareth Bale and Griezmann. If you were to pick one, it's very hard after Bale scored that absolute banger. But for me personally, I would go for. In fact, I'm changing my mind right now, talking about the pros and cons for it. Obviously, Bale's got experience in the Premier League, but he's injury prone. And Griezmann, I would love to say Griezmann at Man United. I can't make no mistake about it. He's one of my favourite players. So I would rather go for Griezmann. And plus, he probably plays the style of football that I would prefer to watch, which is link-up play. He probably is better Lukaku as well. And the last person that I want to quickly mention, again, this is within the last 24 hours, is Lewandowski. Apparently, he is looking for a new challenge, and he has been offered to Chelsea, Manchester United, and I think the other team was Real Madrid, if I'm not mistaken. It might be someone else. It might be PSG, actually. But yeah, I know Chelsea and Man United's name were in there. Again, I'm not sure how I would feel about that, because that would mean Lukaku would have to play on the bench, because there's no way Lewandowski and Lukaku can play together. For me personally, I don't really know how I feel about Lewandowski coming in, because he's quite old. Although he's obviously world class, make no mistake about it. I'm hearing a stupid rumour that they want 150 million for Lewandowski. I swear he's in his 30s. I can't remember off the top of my head. I think he's like 31 or something. I'm guessing he must be at least 30, 31. Surely he's quite old. He's been around for flipping God knows how many years. That kind of price for Lewandowski for me is a no-brainer. It's an absolute no. Obviously, it's quality, but again, I don't really want to displace Lukaku unless it's for someone like a Griezmann, because with Griezmann, there's an opportunity for him to play alongside Lukaku. You don't necessarily have to drop him completely, but with Lewandowski, it's going to be either Lukaku or Lewandowski playing. There's no in between it. If you're paying stupid money for Lewandowski, and at his age, he's going to be having to play, it's going to be very similar to the Zlatan situation. But yeah, just let us know what you think of the players that I've mentioned. If there's anything else that you want me to talk about, obviously I might just do a video regarding players that I think are more of a necessity rather than obviously the marquee signing, so to speak, obviously my top 5 sort of thing. But yeah, apart from that, I'm going to talk in more depth about the World Cup. Obviously, it's just around the corner. We'll try to get a prediction video out for that. I haven't got a clue what I'm doing, but yeah, regarding the World Cup anyways, because there's too many hard teams to talk about. But yeah, regarding Man United, obviously if anything happens, I will update you. But apart from that, drop a like, share, subscribe. It's been your boy, man. Go Man United! Come on!